Well, I just happened to finish off Paul Verhoeven's Elle, which is based on Le Roman de Philippe Gidon. There is a French review that I've done all in French, which is available on my Skinny Evert channel, but I'm going to do this one specifically in English because that is where my largest market is. For the most part, the story of this film is about a woman who is a video game developer of all things. I think they worked with Ubisoft and Activision on this particular film, and she was sexually assaulted in her house quite a few times by a man who we eventually discover in the film is to be her secret lover, who she does footsies and flirts around with. It is perhaps one of the most graphic and bizarre films I have ever come across. It's definitely earned its 18 certificate for its sexual violence. Nonetheless, it definitely has a lot of the sequences of that and almost sadomasochistic sexual behavior and graphic violence, people getting bashed in the head, and there's even tentacle rape in it as well, which I really could not have expected a movie like this to have occurred. But, given this is from the same director who brought you RoboCop, which received an X when it first came out in the US for its extreme violence, and Showgirls, which is the only NC-17 film, in the US, of course, it's 18 in the UK, to have received a mainstream release, which is bizarre nonetheless, but it failed, and since then there have been no NC-17 films that have ever received mainstream releases. This is an R-rated film, but it's pretty much for a mature and adult audience nonetheless. But aside from that, I have to congratulate Isabelle Huppert for uh, providing un bon rôle pour les films. Et l'adaptation du roman est très excellent et très perturbant et effrayant. That's my attempt at points, but you'll see it in the other review I've done. But for the most part, she done really well in this film. I think she should have won the Oscar for Best Actress instead of that salope ou pétasse Emma Stone. I don't care about Emma Stone. I didn't see La La Land. That doesn't interest me. But she done pretty well in this film. I'm glad it won the 2 Golden Globes it did. With that being said, however, the film does have a world view. Nonetheless, it's not the sort of thing you would want to see in a mainstream film. And I'm sure if I saw this in a cinema, which is quite hard to do given the location of these types of foreign films, they only show like in the big cities. I'm sure there weren't really a lot of women who'd gone to see this either. This would have been very off-putting, despite its somewhat feminist message. The film received a lot of controversy when it first came out at festivals, and when it first came out in November ou Décembre en France, au salle à la paix entière. Well, I'm kind of doing a hybrid language there in case people from Canada are watching as well. But the reason why this review is kind of late is because I saw digital HD instead for the US market. Because in Britain, because I'm not in Britain right now, it already came out over there. It came out fairly late, much to my surprise.